What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night. Tsarukyan versus Hookah. Predictions breakdown here, guys, over there in Doha, which is going to be in the Middle East. 10 a.m. card, depending on what time zone you're in. It's going to be early vibes. Decent card, 14 fights on the card. Like I said, I'm not going to always say this. I don't judge a card by the cover, right? So the guys come in here and put the work in, they make the weight. Like I said, it's not easy to come in here and get punched in the face, get your nose broken, get your ribs broken, get CTE, brain damage. Pretty much can lose your life in here. You know, you can shorten your lifespan. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest with you. So if these guys make the weight, come in here and you know, they match off and them go fight, hats off to them, man, regardless of you know who's on the card. But as far as it seems, it seems like a pretty decent card, right? Before I get started here, guys, hit the thumbs up button, and I appreciate the thumbs up and the likes that I've been getting lately, which is great. It helps with the channel, get the videos out. You guys can even share the videos too, it'd be good. So hit more thumbs up, more subscribers. You can subscribe. Trying to get up to like 20 thumbs up, 20 likes is good. Last time I got like 14, so I appreciate the love I've been getting. And also the subscribers is coming in, I appreciate that too. And also check out my Patreon account for my face-up predictions and prop plays. And you can also check out my PayPal account too, guys, if you guys want to donate, right? Like I said, you don't have to, but I'm just throwing it out there, right? So let's fly into this real quick here, guys. I'm not going to spend too long on this card. 14 fights. I'm going to fly through it. This card is in the Middle East, so a lot of these guys who are Muslim, most of them are Russian and stuff like that, from that Middle Eastern part, it could get favored, and a lot of times the Russia cards are kind of, can be a lot of robberies, especially when it goes to decision. So, which other, different regions do that too, depending on if you're hometown or not, they will slide you to win, you know what I mean? So it's not just Russia alone, so the other parts of the world also do that too, but certain parts are more, they're more infamous, for robbing you. I'm just being honest, right? So, Sergio Spivak was supposed to fight Samuel, but Spivak fell off the card. And this guy here, Borralho, was supposed to fight, Jose Luis, but Jose Luis fell off the card, So now we got Denzel Freeman, right? So first fight here, guys, we got Borralho versus Denzel Freeman. Merrick, he will look to take down more, push more the wrestling. BJJ, I believe, black belt. Heavy ground in pounds, man. There's this guy, once he gets on top of you, mounts you, just unleash a lot of heavy punches. We'll also look for the sub, like I said, BJJ black belt. Never went on the first round, though. This guy never went to the first. I remember he was supposed to fight Jose. You know what I'm saying? So, now he's going to fight Freeman, right? Just checking something here real quick here, guys. His last weigh-in here was 240. So this guy is a heavyweight, but can also be a light heavyweight if he really wants to. His opponent here, Freeman, though, kind of a short notice. I don't know how much of a short notice, but he's a lot more, on the heavier side, right? His last weigh-in was 261, so it's a lot of weight over Merrill, right? So Freeman has more of a Greco-Roman kind of base on him. So we look to more grind and wrestle, but his hands and strikes doesn't look bad. Also has a heavy roundhouse kick. His kicks are pretty, for a big guy, they're pretty loose. You can get the legs up there pretty high, right? We'll slow down in the fight though, but we'll let the kicks and the punches go. He will mix it up with the stand-up. Like I said, stand-up, I believe, is better than Merrick's striking. But Merrick though, Merrick has more of the BJJ. We'll look for Summit here. With Freeman more athletic, explosive, heavy head kicks. Like I say, we'll gas out. Also fight Johnny Eblen way back in the amateurs in 216, which he went to a decision with Johnny Eblen. You know, Johnny Eblen was in Bellator. I believe he beat in PFL, no, but he lost his first fight there against Costello. But Johnny Eblen is actually a pretty good fighter, man. Coming to the ATT also. So he had a fight with him, and you know, and with Freeman, I feel Freeman is more experienced guy here. You know, also fighting LFA and stuff like that. So and also fighting PFL as well. So I feel Freeman is a more experienced guy here, But this fight is a kind of a low level, so I'll be very careful. This one is a shortness for Freeman, but I'm gonna push towards Freeman for the window. But don't sleep on Merrick, because Merrick could win. So be careful with this one. Out of Poland, this guy, it's not bad from what I see, but I feel Freeman is a little more seasoned as far as the competition is concerned, and a little bit more, I feel he's more well-rounded, and also, you know, can go to decision. You know what I mean? And he's not just a first-round finisher. As far as Merrick, you know, although Merrick fight is done in the first round, so we never see him out a second, so we don't know if we know what he look like. So we go with Freeman, even though Freeman shot. We're going to Freeman by KO, TKO, guys, in the second round, but zero confidence, because this is like a low-level fight, dude. All right? Both guys are 6'0", 6'1", man. So hey, you know, you pick your poison there, but usually first fights in the card, usually the underdog usually comes in. So we're gonna take a look at the odds afterwards. So I'm gonna kind of stick to this right here first, and then look at the odds after to see. But I'm pretty sure that maybe Freeman may be the favorite there. All right, so next fighter we got Nurullo Aliev versus Shaquem Rock. And I'm going to mispronounce a lot of these words here, guys. That's just what it is. It is what it is, man. Aliev here, come up the Contender Series 2022. Let me see here. Experienced guy. Or is going to be the more experienced guy here. Already has 3 fights in the UFC, actually. We look to wrestle, we look to grind, very aggressive, coming forward. Can get caught in submissions though. Notice that. Can get caught in like the triangle choke. But he will get his way out of it though. But gotta be careful with that. When you're seeing guys get caught like that, eventually, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna get out of it. You know, eventually it's gonna be that person that lock them in tightly. And then they're gonna be stuck and get submitted. But he happens to get to get out of the submissions though, you know, whenever he gets caught in it. So got a win over Joe Selecki, Rafael Alvarez, and win over Contender Series against Josh Wick. His opponent here, Rock. You know, Rock is will look for submissions. So like I said, Aliev can get caught in submissions, but has never been, you know, like officially submitted because he gets out of it. But Rock will look for submission. Rock ground game is not bad. But Aliev also has a good ground game. He's a grinder. Aliev is like a Habib kind of vibe. Grind, and just keep pushing at a high pace. It's like he's not going to get tired. Rock will mix it up a little more. Aliev mixed up as well too. But let me see here. But he will also grind with the wrestling, pressure, and more hunting for submission. So this guy here will more hunt to get the submission. And like I tell you, Aliev can get submitted, man. He hasn't got submitted, but he got put in submissions where it's like it looks like it's tight, but he happens to get out. And a guy like Rock, you know what I'm saying, is making Rock making his debut here, I believe. Yep, coming from Octagon. Be careful with this one, guys. Doing it I say about Rock. Rock slows down. So after the second round, he starts to like gas out. Like he's like whatever he's pushing like hard in the first round, he could be striking and takedowns. He mixed up. It just gets slow and he's like low. He's like low pace. It's like his pressure and his striking becomes low volume, right? After the second, a guy like Aliev is gonna get stronger. Is gonna keep going, right? So I like Aliev. I say Aliev by decision. But I'm not confident. because, like I said, Rock will look for submissions, and Aliev can get put in them. So Aliev by decision, guys. These fights are, like I said, they contender series guys. I like Aliev. I feel Aliev is a good prospect, and he moves well. He's high pace wrestling, grinding, But like I said, Rock would keep throwing up submissions and keep looking for it. You know what I'm saying? You keep looking for the finish. A lot of these fights in this particular card here, a lot of the guys them are just not well known guys. So this is a tough one, to be honest with you, man. You know what I mean? And some guys I do know, and some guys are veterans, and some guys are veterans that used to be there and left the UFC and came back. But it's a card where you have to be careful, I guess. I mean, if you want to speak, I mean, just play at your own risk. I mean, not careful. I don't like to use the word careful. Just play at your own risk, man. And then whatever happens, you're just gonna learn from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you learn, man. That's how you get better. You know what I'm saying? That's how you build up your confidence and you learn from experience by just putting yourself in there and then see what happens. So there's no careful, guys. Play at your own risk. All right, there we go. Next fight, we got Ryan Loader versus Ismail Naurdiev. Ryan Loader, man, that's a hell of a name. Loader. Ryan Loader, man. Ryan Loader, Division 1 wrestling. Tough winner. But striking is not that good, man. But he will grind. He will push a high pace all 3 rounds and try to get you out of there. But like I said, his striking stand-up wise is not good, and if he can't take you down, he'll be in problems. Ismail Naurdiev, on the other hand, Islam is a veteran guy here, man, and been in the UFC, left and came back. Islam is more experienced here, more skilled guy, more well-rounded guy, from my opinion. Like I said, he was in UFC, lost his last fight against Jong Young Park, which he pretty much looked like he finished Jong Young Park in that fight, but I think it was a legal hit, and then he thought he won, but then they had to restart the fight over. The referee took 2 points from him. So, it's about Islam that he will look good in the first round, some of the second, and then he just gasses out. Just looks completely tired in the fight, in the second, into third. And then you can start grinding him out with wrestling and take him down, and pretty much just beat him up and have your way with him. So this is a fight where Islam is good, and I feel he's a better fighter than Loader, but the conditioning and cardio could be an issue in this fight where Loader could pull off a win, man. He could pull off a win. I like Islam though, because Islam more technical and skill, and Islam coming here, if he comes in here and train and his condition and cardio, is at that level, and he put the work in, through his training, he should get a win, man. But this one here is you gotta be careful from what I told you, that Islam does gas out. He does get tired, and if he gets tired with Loader's gonna ragdoll him. He's just gonna grind him out for the win, man. So you could see something like Loader by decision. Strong possibility. But I like Islam because experience and a veteran, and I feel Islam is a better fighter. But again, you can't breed. Guess what? You can't breed. Guess what? Can't breed, can't fight. So I'll go with Islam. I say Islam KO TK in the first round. But if he can't stop the takedowns of Loader, he's going to be in problem, and Loader going to pull off a decision on him. So play at your own risk. This fighter, I'm not confident, but Islam by KO TK first round. Zero confidence, guys. Next fighter, we got Bekzat Almakhan versus Alexandro Topuria. So that's brother. They changed the order of these fights, so I'm not looking for my notes here, guys. Topuria, brother, is Alexander. Come on, man. I know I did this fight. There we go. All right. Bekzat here. Bekzat is coming to the ATT. A couple of these guys are coming to the ATT, American top team. Bekzat here is pretty skilled dude, man. Pretty well-rounded guy. Good timing. His counters are pretty good. Good wrestling, but his boxing and his striking is where he mostly shines. He's heavy with the hands. With Umar, he looked good against Umar. Almost put out Umar in that first round. Caught him with a counter. But Umar implements that Khabib kind of style, like that Dagestanian kind of grappling, and just consistently grind him out for the win. So Bekzat can get taken down, but that's Umar that's taking him down. And Bekzat did look good against Umar. And I like how he looked against Brad Katona, got a counter real quick. Bekzat is a pretty good fighter, man. I feel he's a good prospect. He's a very good fighter, man. That is why they match up against Umar. You know, he just came into the UFC to give him Umar. Because this guy is very good, man. With Topuria here, Topuria, he's not Ilel. You know what I'm saying? He's not Ilel, man. You know what I mean? So, meaning that I know the brothers, but there's this brother here. He slight kind of similar to his brother in a kind of way, but does has a pressure forward boxing style coming, you know, straight at you. But he does slow down in the fight though, man. And especially if he push too hard with the wrestling, he will gas out. Does have the boxing flow with him, but he gets tired though, man, and he's hittable. You can counter him coming in. So that's what I notice about him. He is like his brother, but then he's nothing like his brother. There's like a slight similarity, but I just see a lot of holes. And against Bekzat, I feel Bekzat is a better fighter here, man. I mean, from my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go with Bekzat, guys. I'm going to say Bekzat by KOT here in the third round. But I'm not confident because, like I said, with Alexander, he is good and he is skilled, though. But I just see holes, man. Especially when he fought Thickness. You cannot forget that name, man. When he fought Thickness, there's a point where Thickness was landing on him and countering him. And Thickness was looking good against him. So I feel Bekzat is like on that level, dude. And I said Bekzat by KOT in the third round, guys. But still 50-50. Next fight here, guys. We got Abdul-Rakhman Yakhyaev damn, man, versus Rafael Sakura. Damn, I think I pronounced that right. I'm just gonna say Abdul, guys. I'm not gonna pronounce the whole entire name, man. Abdul. I like what I see from Abdul, man. Very aggressive, forward pressure, well-rounded, good prospect. I like what I see from him coming up the Contender Series. This guy, usually them put you on like that in the same year, they freaking love you, man. He does finish Contender Series August 26th, he fought, and he's already in the UFC already. You know what I'm saying? And usually, sometimes they let the guys wait out like a year or so, if they're not too much into you, but they're into Abdul a lot. You know, this guy here, man, you know, he just goes for it straight out the gate, forward pressure, wrestle, striking on point. You know, everything, you know, seems on point. He just seems very well-rounded guy, and you know, just like what I see from him, right? Rafael, on the other hand, Rafael is still looking for that first win, man. You know, three fights in, went to a decision against Juicebox, against Julius Walker. But this is a guy here, man. He got knocked out by Modesto and Asin. This is a guy here, though, man, that doesn't like to be pressured, and that's it. You know, and that's something where the fights were in 2024 and 25. He did the same thing. Against Julius Walker, was kind of similar, doing the same thing, but he made some improvement. But he doesn't like to be pressured, man. And against a guy like Abdul, who's going to pressure the crap out of him, I know that he has more experience, though, and he will throw down, though. I mean, don't get it twisted. He will let his hands go, and he does throw heavy and will not, because he has a lot of knockouts on his record. So he will look to knock you out, dude. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. He just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So, I mean, I know Abdul coming from Contender Series, and I don't usually like to pick guys straight up like that. But if I see potential, and I do see potential in Abdul, you know what I'm saying, I see the skills, man. The skills are evident, man. And a guy like Rafael, you know, he loses to guys like Abdul that are going to come forward and let their hands on him. and he's going to keep backing forward in a straight line, going back to the cage and get caught. And he freezes. That's the thing about Rafael. He freezes. So you hit him 1-2, he freezes, and he stays there, and he just, you know. So I like Abdul. I say Abdul by KO TK in the first round, guys. All right, but still contender series, guys. You know, yeah, he's a good prospect, 7-0. That doesn't mean that Rafael can't catch him. Yeah, I'm saying Rafael will let the hands go, and Rafael is more experienced. So anything is possible in this game, guys. It's not because the guy get knocked out 1, 2, 3 times or 2 times and went to decision the last fight. That doesn't mean he can't come back against a guy that's coming from contender series with less experience. So keep that in mind, man. So anything is possible. I just like what I see from Abdul, and I see what Rafael does all the time. You know, if he can put the pace on you, then he loses, and Abdul is gonna come forward. Abdul gonna come forward, dude. But it could be one of those things, both come forward and start swinging, and Rafael catches Abdul, but most likely it would be Abdul catching Rafael. So KO TKO first round. Next fight, we got Alex Perez versus Asu Almabayev. I think I pronounced that right. Almabayev. Yeah. Alex here, man, coming off of a bad injury, man. ACL tear, man. Bad injury, man. He had to recover from that. Took him a year or so to recover after his fight against Taira. You know, bad knee surgery, I believe was his right leg. This guy's a veteran though, and proven, you know, fight all the top guys. You know, only loses to the best guys. But knee injury, coming off a knee injury, man, is like been a year out. It's a bad one too. I don't know, dude. Against Asu is skill, man. He's a skilled dude. Will more look to grind with the wrestling. Will also let the hands go. He's quick. You know what I'm saying? Go for double single legs. But Alex is good on the ground. And Alex can strike. Alex is well-rounded. Alex is a veteran. So Asu is kind of, he's skilled, but he can drop the ball. Like what we see against Manel Kape, right? So you can touch him up. You can have your way with him, and he will also get tired. And a guy like Alex, who is a veteran, you gotta be careful with that. But the thing about Alex tear up his ACL, dude, is like it's difficult to pick this guy. This is gonna be his first fight back. It's not like he had like a warm-up fight or anything, or any grappling matches that we know of. You know, it's gonna be his first time coming in here. You know what I mean? He was supposed to be Steve Urchik. Okay, Perez injury. So I guess he was. Huh? Hold on there. August 9th. Oh, so I guess he got injured again. Maybe probably from the same knee injury, because you know with that knee, you know, is when you tear your knees up, like I always say, your knee and your back and these things, but mostly your knees, man, because that's your mobility, you know. And when you tear those bad boys up, boy, man, it's like a subconscious, it's like a mind thing too, you know, because you're in there and you want to throw it. But then in your mind is like saying, "Damn, maybe you messed that knee up." So you probably can, you know, don't throw it so fast, or don't squat so low, or don't sprawl so quickly. You know what I'm saying? So Asu is gonna be, you know, his knee is good, everything is good on Asu, and he's been competing, even though he lost against Manel Kape, but he's like been in there. You know, he already been in there twice already in 2025. You know what I mean? And like I said, Asu is not bad. Asu has a ground, very aggressive, very grindy with the wrestling, with grind, pressure. We'll also let the hands go. I got to go with Asu, man. I say Asu by submission in the second round. Difficult to pick guys that's coming off of bad knee surgery, bad knee injuries like that. And just against a guy like Asu, whose mobility is good, speed, timing is good, you know. It's difficult, and especially when you're out for like a year. Asu by submission second, right? I said that, yeah. Asu second submission, yeah. All right, next fighter we got Saygid Izagakhmaev versus Nicholas Dalby. Hold on there, guys. Damn, this thing's all over the place, bro. Saygid here. Saygid hasn't fought since 2022, dude. He hasn't fought since 2022, man. So it's been a while. But he has a grappling match though that he had. He got a first round finish there. Was it grappling match? Yeah, Karate Combat 54. But he hasn't fought since he fought Shinya Uke. You know what I mean? But he trains with Makhachev and the rest of those guys and Khabib, you know, at AKA. Skilled guy, I mean, from what I see. His wrestling, his Dagestanian style wrestling, his striking is on point. Yeah, he's a quicker guy, timing, speed, power, everything is good. I mean, I like what I see from him. He just hasn't been in there. I'm not sure the reason why, but against Nicholas Dalby though, Nicholas Dalby got knocked out real bad against Randy Brown, man. And he's still durable, but this is the first time he ever got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And a guy like Nicholas Dalby, that guy is a veteran. He's very experienced veteran, and if you can't put him away, it could be problems because he will be there until the end. And he has mad cardio. He's going to keep going. He's going to walk you down forward and keep going. But I don't feel the durability is there anymore. So it's not as durable like it used to be. That's why Brown put him out like that. You know what I'm saying? But he back in the days though, or before that fight, he was getting flash knockdowns though, so you could have heard him and stuff like that. But that punch that Brown hit him with, that put him out, man. It was a bad knockout. But like I said, with Nicholas Dalby, you can't count this dude out, man. This guy's a dog. He's a veteran. But from what I see from him from the Brown fight, he was looking kind of slow in that fight, kind of plodding a lot. Coming forward, letting the hands go, but slow, man, like kind of stiff, you know what I mean? I got to go with Saygid, and like I said, with Saygid, you know, Saygid trained with, you know, Makhachev and all those guys, Khabib, you know what I'm saying? Those guys are his brothers, you know, and he trains with them, you know, and, you know, like I said, this card here is a Middle Eastern card, you know what I mean? So a lot of guys from Middle East going to be on this card, like, you know, like Khabib people and his family and his brothers, you know? So we're going to go with Saygid. We're going to say Saygid go by a decision because Saygid hasn't been in there, so, you know, and fighting Dalby, and a guy like Dalby is very experienced, dude. So I say decision, all right? Next fight here, we got Luke Riley versus Bogdan Grad. What I see from Luke, the first fight that I watched, I was like, I'm not really too impressed with this kid. You know, the first, I believe, which fight did I watch? I watched a fight with Abazov, and Abazov was just taking him down, you know, kind of like just, you know, have him on the ground like consistently, but kind of like grinding him out, right? And I was like, man, this guy is not that good. He can't stop the takedowns, right? It's not that good, you know. But I keep watching more fights of him, and I'm like, damn. And then what I see him did with Abazov, you know, when Abazov got tired, you know what I mean? I was like, oh crap. It's like this dude there is a, you know, this dude's a dog. It's like he will throw down, you know, and his boxing is not bad, and he has his recovery, his cardio, and his mental is tough. It's like this kid here will be there in front of you, man. I mean, you can flash knock him down and you can hurt him, but he recovers quickly. And his boxing and his pressure is like when he knows that you're in, you know, that he got you hurt, you know, he will put it on you, man. Let me see here. Hold on, nigga. Stand up, stand in. We look for. Yeah. So his stand up is pretty decent. You know, he will look for the finish. Very technical with the striking. Like I said, he will throw down, kind of get into a brawl, kind of. You could take him down though, and that's the thing. But he will cage walk. You know, he will get back to his foot though. So like this guy here with Amazov was taking him down, he was getting back up, and each time he takes somebody down, they keep getting up. He's like, you're gonna start getting gassed out. So Abazov obviously got gassed out. So and then he got finished, right? But this guy Luke, his hands are pretty good, man, and he will look to finish you, dude. And he will look to walk you down and just go into the fire and just throw down, man. Very, very aggressive kid, pushing forward, coming from Cage Warriors. I mean, this kid is pretty good, man. I mean, I like what I see from him, and he's making his debut against Bogdan. Bogdan is aggressive as well. You know, he will walk you down. look for takedowns as well, but his takedowns are, I believe Luke can stop those. You know, it's not really that elusive or that grimy. You know, it's not like a Habib kind of style. And with Budgrad, he's very hittable, very hittable. Budgrad can strike and has the hands and has the power to actually put you out. So he does hit heavy. We look for the finish as well, but he's hittable. The footwork from Luke, the movement from Luke, the boxing, I just feel is better. You know, just from my opinion. I'm liking Luke here, guys. I'm liking Luke. I did have it by a finish, but I have KO TKO here, but I don't know what round though. Don't know what round. I think, hold on there, guys. Trying to, because I have the KO, because usually I write it down. I have KO TKO, but I don't have, you know, if it's round 1 or 2 or 3. I forgot what I have here. Let me see. I'm gonna go first round, guys. I'm gonna say KO TKO by Luke in the first round, because a guy like Budgrad, he's very hittable, and just the techniques that Luke has, I feel Luke is very skilled as far as boxing and the footwork. And with Grad can get he gets slightly flat-footed at time, but he does move around. But he's just like, you can sidestep him, you can move on him, you can move laterally on him, circle on him, and just touch him up. And like I said, he's just, Grad is hittable, and pretty similar what we see him. What happened to him on the Contender Series here against Tom Nolan, first round finish. You could see the similar thing from Luke. Like I said, when I saw the first Luke fight, I was like, and I kept watching more fights. I'm like, yo, this kid is pretty good. So I say Luke first round KO TKO, guys. All right. Next fight here, guys. We got Koji Haraguchi versus Tagir Ulanbekov. Haraguchi, we all know, was in UFC for DJ Demetrius Johnson. Very skilled guy. Has a karate base on him. Used to more be on the counter striking, a lot more movement. But lately, he just hasn't been doing it as much. He's been looking more just to wrestle. But the guy's a veteran. You know, very experienced guy. Mostly, he was fighting out of Risen. Also in Bellator. Patchy Mix beat him. I know what people are going to say about that. Even Asakara beat him too. Which these two guys, Asakara and Patchy Mix, in the UFC, just haven't been looking good, dude. It's a bad look to be losing to these guys, you know. They don't even have a win in the UFC yet, bro. So overturned. Damn, yeah, some overturned things there. Mixed field drug test. I didn't know that. Against Magomed. Oh, damn. So he failed a drug test, huh? So probably that could explain his performance. And so maybe he was on something. Mixed field drug test. Oh, damn. So it was a split decision, but they overturned it. Hold on there. Oh, they overturned it, dude. Oh, damn. So, hold on. Hold on there. So he lost to one Acoleta. Hold on. Decision split. Hold on for a second. This is L. L? So what's the L mean? I don't know. OT, FMMF. I don't know. Alright, so yeah, so he lost a Patchy Mix, lost a Asakar, which is not a good look because these guys are the Kevin. I believe Asakar got a win in UFC, right? Nah. So these guys are unable to even get a win in the UFC. Against Tagir though, Tagir is skill. You know, the Dagestanian vibe, you know, his brothers are, you know, Makhachev and Habib. 2-inch of height, 3-inch of reach, which is massive. Skill, well-rounded guy. We look to grind with the wrestling. They have that Dagestanian kind of vibe. With Dagestan and a handcuff, kind of lace the legs up. Haraguchi looks more to wrestle now. And if he does strike, he gets hurt a lot. He gets flash knocked down. He just can't handle the hits anymore. You know what I'm saying? And Tagir is rangy. You know, Haraguchi coming out of ATT, so he's just looking more to wrestle, but he can't wrestle with Tagir like that because I believe Tagir, in my opinion, is better on the ground. So I'm going to go with Tagir. I'm going to say Tagir by decision, guys. All right? Next fighter, we got Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Samuel Gaziv. Waldo here is short notice. It was supposed to be Spivak. Hold on there, guys. So I was in the middle of doing this fight. I had Spivak and I had to change it real quick. Waldo's come off a win against that guy with the PFL. Forgot his name. Ante. And it was kind of a controversial thing because Ante kind of, was landing punches as him, and then in the second loading of the punches, he kind of eye poke him, and then Acosta was like, oh, my eyes, and then it looked like he kind of like, they gave the fight to Ante. They were like, oh, Ante knocked him out, but then they restart the fight, and and then Acosta went in there and then caught him with a jab and a cross and finished him, right? So, it's a good win for Waldo, but Waldo has raw power, man, and he's showing that, that he's improving and fight a lot of tough guys, a lot of tough competition, right? So this a guy that, will come in there and take your head off. Against Samuel is good, but he does gas out. He is well-rounded. We look for the takedowns, but it's kind of hard to take Waldo down, dude. It's difficult to take Waldo down. Like I said, Waldo been improving, man, especially even with his takedown defense. But Samuel will gas out, especially if he keep pushing takedowns and he cannot get it. And especially he fought 1-5 round against Rosenstruck, and kind of gave up in the 4th round. He said he couldn't see. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel, even though there's a short notice for Waldo was in there November 1st, right? Waldo was in there just recently, so he was still in training. He's still his last was November 1st. He wasn't there, so he just finished having a fight and a quick turnaround for Waldo. And I said with Samuel will hit. He's heavy-handed. Had a knockout against Thomas Peterson with a right hook. But he does slow down and he does get flat-footed and kind of sit in front of you and drop his hands. He sit in front of you and kind of taunt you, look for the opening, look for you to throw a punch, so maybe he could counter or he hit you with that straight reverse punch from off the right hand. But he can't sit in front, and then sit there in front of Waldo, because Waldo does throw heavy. So it's a fight where, man, it's a tough one to choose. A guy like Samuel again, coming out there out of Russia, I'm saying, it's Middle East, I'm saying, you gotta, anything can happen here, man, but I'm gonna go to Waldo. I'm gonna say Waldo by decision, guy. I just feel that with Samuel, lacking, he has some experience, but he's still kind of lacking a little bit. To have a fight against Draco Stosic, which was a good fight, you know what I mean? He got some good wins here and there, but I just feel like Waldo is just a little more experienced, and you just can't sit in front of Waldo, And I feel with Samuel, he will move, but he kind of will slow down at times, and just dare to get hit. I feel like Costa is just way more athletic, explosive. So I'll go with Costa. I say Costa by decision, guys, all right? And I'm not confident, because these guys are both heavyweight guys, but both big dudes, man. It could even be a finish in this one. Like Costa could knock out Samuel. That's a strong possibility. But like I said, man, is when you have two big dudes like this, anything is possible, dude. Nothing guaranteed. Next fight, we got Jack Mershman versus Myktybek Orolbai. That's a hell of a name. Jack is a veteran, man, well-rounded. He would look for takedowns. He usually used to look for a lot of takedowns and submissions, but not so much. He looks to strike. Kind of slowed on at times, slow at the movement at times, no, kind of hittable, can get knocked out. Got knocked out bad against G Rod in his last fight though. Gonna have the 3-inch reach, but he got knocked out bad against G Rod, man. G Rod caught him with a left hook here, kind of put him out and then hit him again. So he was already out and he got hit again while he was on the ground. So that's a bad knockout, man. Against Orolbai though, Orolbai is like a dog, man. He's gonna keep coming, very elusive. Can get hit at times. Striking is not the best. I feel Jack got a better striking, but he's durable. And he will push at high pace, dude. The wrestling takedowns, just keep pushing. You will just keep grinding, dude. And I can see him taking down Jack, possibly subbing Jack too, man. And his submissions on the ground are not bad, and Jack can get submitted. So the thing about Jack is that got knocked out bad last fight. It was like a couple months ago, and he just looked slow at the movement, man. He just looked like he doesn't want to be in there. So I go with Orolbai. I said Orolbai by submission, guys, in the second round. Next fight here, guys. We got Volkan Oezdemir versus Alonzo Menfield. Volkan, man, he actually been improving. This guy's been in there for a while. Veteran, experienced guy, man. Especially, with the ground game, he has improved a lot. Takedown defense, looking to take you down to the ground and look for submissions, which he got submission on Johnny Walker. He got submission on Goskov by rear naked choke. Finished Johnny Walker against Carlos. Carlos' movement giving problems. With Alonzo though, Alonzo's a veteran, experienced guy, punching power, but he plots a lot, slow down with the movement, but he plots and then he bursts on you. I can see Volkan just keeping a pacer and possibly get a finish. I think with Volkan is more like striking is a little better. Volkan mixed up with the kicks. Volkan ground game got way better. I gotta go to Volkan. I said Volkan by KO in the second round, guys. But I'm not confident again. Again, we're looking at guys. These guys are 206, a light heavyweights, but they're pretty big guys too, man. All right, they probably come in there like 220, 230, man. After they make the weight and they hydrate back up. So, all right. So I like Volkan by KO in the second round, guys. Next fight we got Belal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Garry. Belal here, we say the canola hands. He has canola hands, right? The canola hands, man. This guy here is wrestling base, improved striking with canola hands. He's a veteran, but can get flat-footed at times, and not the best fight IQ, man. Not the best fight IQ, dude. His last fight here, he didn't even push no wrestling against Jack because he had the canola hands, and he wanted to prove that he has canola hands. And could probably knock out Jack, but didn't work out in his favor. Against Garry though, Garry is improving every single fight, dude. And I feel Garry is more well-rounded. Garry takedown defense has gotten better. His distance management, his timing is good. His footwork, his movement is good against Muhammad, who's kind of flat. And his IQ is better. Very technical striking. But he can get hit though. You can catch him with some shots, especially down the pocket. Sometimes his chin is there to get hit. Yeah, you can catch him. Maybe Muhammad with the canola hands probably can catch him. But I like Garry though. I feel Garry IQ is good, man. I feel like Garry can keep him at range and pepper him up and defend the takedowns. I mean, if Muhammad come in here, most likely Muhammad's going to grind in this fight. But Muhammad does get tired when he pushes a high pace like that. And if he can't take Garry down, which he probably will take him down, but eventually Gary's going to start stuffing them. He's going to gas out, and Gary's going to touch him up. So I like Garry. I say Garry by decision, guys. It's just the IQ, man. Remember, the mental plays a factor, and IQ and everything like that. If the guys ain't got no good fight IQ, dude, and it's going in there, I got canola hands. I'm going to go in there and box you, even though I know that, Jack is like been boxing for a long time. And Belal Muhammad was known not to have any striking at all. And this is recent. You pick up some striking here and there, but stick to what you're good at, dude, versus your wrestling. And he didn't implement that. You know what I'm saying? He could have probably won that fight because Makhachev grind out Jack with wrestling, dude. Difference between this fight, though, with Garry is not like Jack. Garry has better fight IQ. Garry is technical. Garry is just full package. He has it all. But he can get hit and hurt, though. and you can get him down. But I like Gary for this. I said Gary by decision. Main fight in the card, we got Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Arman here. Arman is a freaking this guy's pretty good, man. His wrestling is high level, man. This guy's is top level. Would push a high pace, grind. This guy would be on you, dude. And his striking is not bad either. Against Charles Oliveira, it's a split decision, but Charles Oliveira almost finished him a couple times with submissions, man. So you know that right there was kind of controversial because I can see it going towards Charles though. I don't see Dan Hooker doing that. Dan Hooker gonna have a 5-inch height and 3-inch reach. Dan Hooker, I don't know. Dan Hooker is decent, but against Arman, dude, Arman's gonna grind him out, man. Arman's gonna grind him out for the win, dude. I mean, the 5-round fight, Arman could even submit him, which I was kind of going for that. But Arman last time submitting, it's like in a long time, man. I can see more as a decision, but he can't get tired against Dan though, because that's what happens when a lot of people get tired against Dan, and Dan comes back and just start peppering him up with the shots. So he's gonna have to be able to keep the pace, which he should be able to, but he can't get tired in this fight, dude. If he gets tired, he gets screwed. Yeah, because you can see Dan just has the range and the height and the striking to pepper him up with shots and possibly hurt him. So, and it's gonna be a 5-round fight. This is a fight where Arman could submit him, man. To be honest, it's a strong possibility, man. I could see the submissions, dude. But I'm gonna go decision, though. I'm gonna say decision by Arman. But again, anything is possible. Like we said with Dan. Dan could catch him with a punch and hurt him, you know, but Dan is like he's just inconsistent, dude. He's not consistent with the wins, dude. I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, you know, it's just like saying Jack is gonna beat Makhachev. I knew that Jack would not beat Makhachev, dude. Even if Jack, I mean, there's a possibility. What's her name again? That chick name, Chichenko versus Willie Zhang. Right, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Willie Zhang is not going to beat Chichenko, dude. It's just the timing and our striking, you know, of what Chichenko has is just not going to happen, dude. Chichenko is a way better striker, dude. Zhang is more like, will strike too, but she lunges a lot forward and is not, and her base is not sturdy. You know what I'm saying? Her foundation is not sturdy. You know what I'm saying? If you look at Chichenko, she has a balance. In her root, her foundation is strong. She bounces and she pops her shots, and her strikes and punches and kicks are very technical and sharp. You know what I'm saying? There is no like hole in it. You know, with Willie Zhang is like there is a hole. She's punching until she's losing balance. She's falling over. She starts to step in. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of holes, dude. Against the other females at the lower 115, she can get away with that. But with Chichenko at 125, yeah, it's not going to happen, dude. If they fought 10 times, Valentina wins 10 times. That's it. All right? Same thing with Jack versus Makhachev. Makhachev wins 10 times. That's just what it is. All right? Quick look at the odds here, guys. See what we're working with. So like I said, I like Arman by decision. Crazy odds. Let's go. Let's check these odds out, man. These banana odds here, bro. These odds are going to be bananas, kid. It's crazy odds, mate. Let's see them odds there, man. UFC Otar. Denzel Freeman 215. No way, because it's a low level fight, dude. No way. Like I said, Marek could win, dude. Marek could win. Believe me. And usually these fights, when the first fights of the night and the prelims, usually the first fights of the prelims, it usually goes underdog winning, dude. And that's what you usually see. Most of the time, first fights in the prelims usually go to underdog, man. So Merrick could win this fight, and for me, it's a low level. Both guys 6-1 and one guy 6-0, and he's short nose at 215. Nah, that's a fight you fade or you go underdog. Can your dog go past, but be careful with it. Aliev and Shamrock. 290 for Aliev. Like I said, Shamrock could find out some skill, but Shamrock ain't bad either. So I wouldn't be so high on the lead, man. You look at the odds on these cards are bananas now, especially on this card here. Islam and Loader. Islam at 138, kind of close fight. Yeah, I would give Islam the slight edge, but Loader could win. So it's kind of an even fight, guys. Loader can win, guys. As an underdog, he could win. Just by the fact that Islam gets tired and Loader just grind him out for the win, bro. Similar to what his last opponent did to him there. What's his name? The turtle dude, Jong Young Park. So yeah, so I pretty much be careful with this one. Topuria and Belzak, they like Belzat. Belzat is a plus, and Topuria favorite. Even fight. It's an even fight, guys. I like Topuria, but I like Belzat too. I feel Belzat, is a little bit more. It's a little more tested. It's a little more experience. You know what I mean? And what I see from Topuria is not like his brother. And it's not like his brother. Obviously, they're two different, but they move similar. There's a similarity there, but it's not like his brother. I feel like Begzat, he's just experienced, and he is faced tougher competition. And I feel like he's just more well-rounded, to be honest with you. Just the conditioning and everything. So I like Begzat, but it is what it is, though. Nicholas Darby and Saygid at 350, 330. As a guy, remember this guy hasn't been in there for a while. And the guy like Nicholas Darby is a dog, man. Very experienced veteran. But what I see from Nicholas Darby lately, though, just hasn't been looking good. So I guess Saygid at 350, I guess is not so bad, but still be careful. Abdul, damn, 2,000 against Rafael. I mean, yeah, man. Guy like Rafael doesn't handle pressure well, backs up against the cage, get knocked out. And a guy like Abdul is going to bring that same pressure like what Rafael saw from his two opponents. So Abdul being this high, coming from Contender Series, I mean, it's possible. But I still be careful because Rafael does have the puncher's chance on him. So be careful with that. So this fight, I wouldn't even touch it at all. Unless you're going underdog or something. But yeah, but I do like Abdul, but not at that. Grad and Luke, they got Luke at 280, 2 something. Still be careful because Luke is just coming in there from off of Cage Warriors. Grad still throws heavy, he still can go for takedowns. You just never know in these fights, man. So like the odds in these guys are kind of high. And the reason why, I like Luke, and I said it, but guys that's just coming into the UFC like that, he just making the debuts, coming from Contender Series, you know what I'm saying? Short notices, like 215, thousands, and it's just bananas, guys. You gotta be careful with it, man. The odds shouldn't be this high because the guys that they're fighting, yeah, they may not be supposedly a skill, but anything can happen. Alex Perez and Asu are 200 and something. Against Perez come off a knee injury. Yeah, but still, a guy like Alex Perez is still a veteran. So you can't cut him out even with a knee problem. Asu is skilled, but he can drop the ball. So, damn, these odds are high. Tajar and Haraguchi. Tajar 215 or something. Yeah, but still be careful because Haraguchi is still skilled. But Haraguchi looks more to go for wrestling now, and Tajar bases wrestling. That's like his bread and butter. And a guy like Haraguchi doesn't really handle the strikes as well anymore. So I can see why it's 200, But still be careful. Shamal and Acosta 144. I like Acosta. Even fight though. Both massive guys. Shamal could catch him with a punch and hurt Acosta. But Acosta never been knocked out though. From not what I remember. I don't think he has been knocked out, right? Has he? That's actually a good question there. Because that could change a lot of things. But it's always the first time for everything though. So it's not because he hasn't been that he can't. He never. So Shamal pretty much gave up in the first. And he gave up in the fourth round. That's why I call him as a KO TKO or TKO. Yeah, so for me, it's even. I can see either guy because a guy like Shamal is not bad. He's not bad. Just that this kind of can get slow at the pace, kind of slow down. he kind of sits in front of you, drop his hands, and with Acosta, he's a target practice for that, man. He's just going to land a punch on you. You know what I mean? Jack Mershman and Orolbai 200 and something. I still be careful because Jack Mershman is experienced. Like we see him against the last guy he fought, not the last guy, but against Joe Pyfer. You know, he was like he actually game planned Joe Pyfer and got that win. But with Orolbai is gonna grind. He's gonna grind. He's gonna go for takedowns. Orolbai is not gonna strike with him. He's gonna grind and wrestle him. Alonzo Menfield and Volkan 200 and something. Yeah, I like Volkan for this fight. I feel Alonzo is a little bit on the slower side, but with plot and like have a little burst here and there. But Volkan, it will mix it up, man. And Volkan will even push the takedowns now from what I see, right? So yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but still be careful. Belal Muhammad and Ian at 200 and something. Shit, I mean, Ian is high, but I mean, I could see why, but still be careful, man. Because Belal is a guy, yeah, not the best fight IQ, but you know, if he can get the takedowns, you know, and it's only a 3-round fight, he could get a win, guys. But like I said, IQ, from what I told you from the you know, from the breakdowns I told you, you know, I have to go with Ian on that one. Arman and Hooker, Arman at 600 or something. Yeah, I mean, I feel Arman is a way better fighter. I feel Arman is a more well-rounded fighter, and just the consistency in wins. Dan Hooker is just not consistent, dude. He's inconsistent with his wins, dude, and he would drop the ball. At least with Arman, you can see he's fighting tough competition and pulling off the wins. You know what I mean? So that's it right there, guys. That's my odd breakdowns, my predictions, the one level type of body. Leave your subscriptions. Don't leave your subscriptions. Leave your comments down below. You can leave your plays as well. You know, a lot of guys will drop down and, you know, will drop their own plays down and they explain why they're picking the guys. It's all good, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, I make predictions, but sometimes I can be wrong too, you know what I mean? So if you have insight and you know something that I don't know, you can leave it down in the subscription. And you can leave it down below in the comments. You know, and just explain why you're picking the guy and everything like that. Or you can just leave a whole entire list of plays of the entire 14 guys. You know, you can drop your plays down there. You know, it's cool. You know, it's all about working together and, you know, sharing ideas. You know, my channel is not about no ego. If you're right and you get it right, I will say, hey man, that's a good job, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a good call. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, you know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna like not answer you or nothing like that. Because like I said, I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, because it's a predictions, you know what I mean? Dude, at the end of the day, from what I learned, the ego gets you nowhere, man. And I had to learn this the hard way. And that's why I'm going to make a video for you guys. Not much of a prediction video or, you know, anything to do with like, it's about the UFC. But I'm going to make a video, it's like a story that I have. You know, from back in the days when I got my rib broken, you know, by a UFC fighter. But I'm not gonna say the name of the UFC fighter. Obviously, the person fought in the UFC. You know, they had a lot of fights. I have several fights, a good amount of fights in the UFC. So they're a veteran, right? But I'm not gonna mention the person's name just out of respect, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I'm not doing this because of a hate thing or like I'm trying to show off or ego. Like me and that person, like I'm cool. I respect that person, even though they broke my rib, and you know, it is what it is, you know. But there's a reason why I got my rib broken. You know? Like I said, there's a built-up story behind the whole thing, why that happened, and I never really. You know, I mentioned it in a couple of videos here where I got my rib broken, but I never really came out and made the story behind it. You know, what's the true reason why that happened, right? So I'm gonna make a video on that and explain. And you know, me and that person, you know, I mean, we don't really talk as much. I mean, I could talk to him if I want to. I could send him a text or whatever, talk. But you know, I mean, I guess he may probably over the years he probably may have felt a kind of way, you know, because I mean he really, you know, he hit me like with everything, dude. Like he hit me hard, dude. Like I said, that was one of the hardest hits that I've ever gotten in my entire life. I mean, it was pretty much a knockout, but from the body, you know. So you know, that's something where you know, up to this day, you know, sometimes I kind of remember it Like it flashes back in my head, like because they even though I got the hit, that's what I say. Body shots is a body knockout is probably one of the worst. Obviously, you don't want to get hit to the head because you can get a hemorrhage. You can bleed from the brain and stuff like that. So you don't want to get hit in the head too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's dangerous, because then the brain processes everything. You know what I'm saying? So continuously getting hit in the head, it will slow you down over time, and you can have some serious problems later on in life. You can't remember your name, slurry speech, and all these things can happen to you, and even death, just right on the spot, or a couple days later on. Like I see from a lot of boxers. If you look up boxers who have died, at least every year, a lot of boxers died from head trauma. A lot. Because of this, boxing matches goes 10 rounds. I believe he used to go 12, but I don't know if they still go 12 now, but they used to go 10 rounds, 12 rounds, and just getting hit in the head for 10, 12 rounds. That's a lot of damage, dude. So, so I'm gonna make a video on that. It's like a story I'm gonna tell. I don't know how long the video is gonna be, but I'm gonna tell a story and build it up, explain to you why the reasons why I got my rib broken, and do I still talk to the person, and are we still friends, and all these things. I'm gonna say right now, I wouldn't say like we're like buddies and not like that, but you know what I mean. But maybe he may, obviously felt away, when it happened, and I was like, in that moment, I was trying to figure out why did it happen, So, and this was like maybe like, damn, this could have been. How long was this? This could be maybe like 15 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, guys. Yeah, man, it could be. I would say either 15 or 16. I know it's actually 15 or 16. It could be one of those, but I know it's one of those years. Either 15 or 16, somewhere in 2010, 2011, right? Like on 2011 or 2010. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I made that video and I'm gonna explain that to you. It's a little storytelling. I may add a little video clips from something else that I came across that explain the reasons behind why that incident happened from a different kind of video, but it tells a story where it's kind of like relating to me. So I found a video that kind of relate to the situations that I was going through, and it built up to me getting injured. So and like I said, it's by a UFC fighter who's a veteran now, and the person is actually if the person is actually retired, so they don't fight no more. So that is all I can give you, but I'm not going to mention the person's name. I don't know if I have mentioned it though before. I don't think I mentioned it though, but I'm not going to mention the person's name. But obviously, it's from American Top Team, ATT, and so forth. Like I said, I used to train at the ATT. So yeah, and this was a couple of years back. Like way back, I was training way back 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. Because after the situation happened, I actually went back after it happened, and I received my purple belt and everything like that. But everything just kind of like, I don't know, just kind of just went downhill, I guess. And then plus my whole lifestyle changed. My mindset changed. It's like, because I used to have a big ego way back, but my ego, everything, I'll just let that go. It's like my way of life and how I take care of my health is different. It's like I'm not into like want to fight all the time. I don't really want to hurt nobody. I change the way I eat. I changed my entire way of life. So it's like my vision and my thoughts and my heart is not for just want to fight. You know what I mean? It's like I don't feel like I need to hurt anybody or injure anybody to make myself feel good or to be on top or to be the best. Because all those things is an illusion. So all those things that I used to do is just not there no more. And it's not because I'm trying not to be that way. It's just that I'm naturally not that way. you know. So I'll make a video on that, guys. I'll probably work on it probably let me see. I probably can do it maybe tomorrow or tonight, maybe. I mean, I'll see. I'll try to load it up on my channel. I'm going to load it up on this channel here. All right, guys. So you guys keep on kicking. One love out to everybody. And